Hello everyone, this is Cianex and welcome to another Longplay commentary. Just a few notes before we actually start out here. There is a link in the description to the video for this commentary. I do not own the footage, I did not make the footage, and I do not have permission to show the footage. However, you can open the link in another tab and watch the video while listening to the sound of my lovely voice. These commentaries are a way for me to express my opinions on different types of games, and while I may be talking about the game, not all material will have to do with the game. Sometimes I may talk about games I'm not knowledgeable about, with my intent being to learn more about them. Please keep this in mind when I talk about certain things during the commentary. I also am not exactly fluent in everything I talk about in general, so don't quote me on anything unless it's insanely smart, insanely stupid, or insanely funny. And with that, let's begin the commentary. Go ahead and pull up the video. I will count down from 3, and when you hear the word go, you start the video. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, here we are. So this is going to be for Castlevania. Now this is the first commentary that I'm doing where I'm actually not nearly that familiar with the game that I'm talking about. So this is going to be a bit of a new experience for me. I don't know, Castlevania, I know it's had a huge history. It's been around for a really long time, since, the first game was 1987, I believe? 86 or 87. And they're still making games, I think. This is Konami. I'm pretty sure this is one of the few franchises that Konami hasn't completely abandoned yet, or completely screwed over yet, to some degree, so that's good. Yeah, I wanna start actually taking a look at these games, the Castlevania games, because there's, again, mainly because of that huge history, like there's so much involved, and I know especially I think specifically around the Symphony of the Night era on the PlayStation, Castlevania has had a huge influence on modern gaming, so I feel like I should probably start from the beginning and eventually work my way over there. But Symphony of the Night just seems like a very impressive game from what I've heard about it, and I would love to take a look at it. So, okay, I do, however, understand the gist of Castlevania. I'm pretty sure this is the game that stems the whole, finding meat inside of walls or sort of thing, or whatever. Like, fully roast chicken hiding inside of walls, which is a pretty neat way to recover health. It's a fun game. I don't remember what the hearts do. I don't think they're points. I don't think this is right. I think in the second game they're like currency of some form. I don't know what they do in this game, actually. Maybe it's like how you use your secondary move? I don't know. There's a lot of secondary moves too. I also don't know if you automatically pick up a new secondary move when you grab it, or if you get to swap between whatever ones you found or whatever. I also didn't get to mention this at the very beginning because I was talking about other stuff that was going on. I love the intro for this game. It's very simple, but it's very well, there goes that power up. It's very ominous, and it gets the point across very quickly, and you're just right into it, and I love it. It's awesome. So I know the holy water does an arc shot or something. I think there's also a dagger. I don't know. I remember there being a lot of different sub items, sub weapons, sub whatever they're called in, I think, this game. I think a lot of what I might be confusing a lot of things that are in the first game and second game, because shout outs to Ego Raptor, but I still remember watching the sequelitis video for Castlevania 1 and 2 pretty fondly. Oh geez, there's an axe, that's cool. Oh, so the enemy health actually only serves a purpose for when the boss is active, and this is just a Golbat without any legs. That's pretty cool. There he goes. That was quick. I also remember that this game is supposed to be really difficult, but I also know that it's really short. But I know that it's short if you're good, because that's a hard game. Oh, so I guess hearts are just the score balls from Mega Man. That's kind of lame. And here's our little handy dandy map. So I guess each, I don't know, I don't think they count as individual levels. I'm pretty sure. Well, no, this is stage 4. Yeah, so I guess it's there was stage 1 and stage 2, but stage 3 had a boss, but then stages 1 through 3 are a sector. Also, that's a boomerang. That's kind of cool. What else is there? I love the whip. I love the idea of a whip as a weapon. It's honestly really neat. Just because it creates a unique playstyle compared to a sword or like a bow and arrow, for instance. Like I'm just thinking of Legend of Zelda here, or even like Metroid or Kid Icarus, where like it's a gun and you have this like infinite range or whatever. Essentially, well, I guess like Samus's gun. Well, no, it has a definite range at the start, but it becomes like a full screen range through like an upgrade. I'm pretty sure, but the whip is cool because it creates like the feeling of distance and spacing, and it's not like super close like a sword is. Like playing this game with something half the size of the whip would be terrible, but like I love it's a unique concept, and also just like a vampire killer who uses a whip, like I'm pretty sure that's unique, or at least it was when Castlevania was new. That's a concept that I don't feel like is used very often. Also, this game is looking way easier than I thought it was. But I would wager that it's because this person has probably been playing this game for a very long time and knows what they're doing. Also, boomerangs just tear through these enemies. Wow. That's like a really good sub-weapon. Oh, that's a clock. So I guess, yeah, no, you get that sub-weapon and it automatically eclipses the one you had before. So now he has like a watch of some sort, which I would guess might freeze. Look at that, it freezes time. I don't know how I knew that. Amazing. Medusa heads. Those are those things. Pretty sure people hate those. Medusa heads, that seems like a name that I've heard in certain circles. usually with a seething anger. The enemies in this game look really cool, honestly. I love the environment. This game, honestly, it looks cool and it looks unique, and everything about this game is very different from what was out at the time, and especially, like, at least in my instance, like, just, it's different from what I'm used to. Like, it's not exotic, I don't know, exotic doesn't quite fit with it, but it's very different. Also, he just hasn't taken any damage yet, so yeah, no, clearly this is a run from someone who knows what they're doing. Sorry about that. I love this. I love Simon's little jaunty walk animation. Like that's it. it like projects confidence, which is interesting to think about. Like this is a character. This is a. I love looking back at these games now in these commentaries and really just taking a look at these from a different design perspective than just casually playing a game. But like this walk cycle honestly just portrays Simon as like being a very confident character. Like, I'm off to slay Dracula, like whatever, I'll bring home the bacon tomorrow. Like he's just very casual and very confident in his skills, and that's super cool. Like even in it's interesting to see how those sort of emotions are portrayed in what. Oh, the stopwatch. I was wondering, like, why did the music stop? It's interesting to see, like, how 8-bit games are able to convey those kinds of emotions when that's, like, not something you'd think that those old pixelated games would be able to convey, and yet, like, even with, like, Mario's face in, especially, like, the Super Nintendo ones, you see that he has this, like, jolly expression, and he's very, like, I don't know, like, things are serious and Bowser's here, but it's like, the rest of the game mood is pretty happy. I'm feeling pretty happy. I don't know. And like his walk cycle honestly just works with the game. That's such a weird. Are these buggies? What the heck? They're like weird imp hunchback people. Like what? These crazy pogo stick and hunchbacks. Jeez. Also, you fall extremely fast when you're not jumping. This is a discussion I remember having, actually in a game design class, about how the physics of a character completely change how the game is played. Like the difference between, oh hey, I know this song. I've heard it in a remix somewhere before. Anyway, how like the difference between Mario's jump and Simon Belmont's jump, like between, and how that completely changes the type of platformer. Like even though, I mean, obviously, Castlevania and Mario Bros. Super Mario Bros. Whatever, are very different games. But, like, even just how nice play. Even just how the game works, like, how the physics work and how the characters move and jump between all these games. Like, it completely changes the experience. And then, like, of course, the game is built around that, and so it wouldn't work if you like had Mario's jump mechanic. Like playing as Mario in Castlevania would break the game, and on the contrary, Simon Belmont would never be able to run in the Mushroom Kingdom. He would be able to get nowhere because he has this dinky jump distance. His jump is not good. Like, and part of that with the game is like platforming becomes much tighter. Granted, this Castlevania is much more action focused, I believe, than platforming focused, but there are still moments of platforming, like obviously, and it makes platforming much tighter because of his jump and just how that all like works together. And this music is I am silently jamming out to this music over here. Like, Castlevania is some great soundtrack. Like, holy cow. The first song I actually again didn't get the chance to say that at the time because I was talking about other stuff. Of course, that's like the theme of these is I want to talk about something, but I got something else I want to talk about. But the song for the first stage I really like, and this one I really like as well. I know there are other Castlevania games in general I'm pretty sure have good soundtrack. I'm not familiar with a lot of them. I'm familiar with a couple from this game. I didn't realize that this song was actually from this game. I heard it before in a DJ The S remix, I believe, like probably Halloween themed. But yeah, shout outs to DJTheS.com. Search him up on YouTube because holy cow, he makes some of like the best remixes on the internet. But enough about that. Yeah, Castlevania's got some great music. Oh, that's just a mummy. That's just a dude. Oh, did he just jump over the dagger? Guess he doesn't want the dagger for these guys. Oh, this is just a pair of mummies. Oh, jeez. Well, they can't even hurt you if you're standing up there. Wow. This seems kind of cheap. Wow. Yeah, no, having a ledge up there to just sit there and whip these guys like completely destroys the challenge for that fight. What the heck? These bosses seem like they're pretty easily exploitable. Like, you have to know what you're doing, of course, and you have to know how to handle these exploits or whatever. But like, if you know how to do the exploits, then like, geez, these bosses just are nothing. Again, what's the name of this runner, actually? I want to give shout-outs to this runner for being amazing. Ultima. Yo, Ultima for the Ultimate Castlevania Longplay. Like, holy cow. Making this look good. Oh, shoot, we're falling. Now we're in the sewers. Oh, like, bass track. I love 8-bit bass tracks. Sometimes. There's, like, well, 8-bit soundtracks have, like, different levels of beeps and bops, I guess. The way I see it is there's the high stuff, there's the medium stuff. Well, no, I guess there's 4. There's like, that's not a ledge. How is he standing up there? That's confusing. There's like your high notes, your medium area, your low area, and then you have the bass line. And there are some games that just have, some 8-bit games just know how to rock the bass line. This game is one of those. I remember Final Fantasy 3, the NES one, not like Final Fantasy 6. NES Final Fantasy 3, like, rocks it with the bass line. Like, holy cow. There's definitely other ones that I just can't think of offhand. You just walk past the imps and those like giant, but yeah, they are birds. It's like the albatrosses dropping bombs down. Holy cow. Just making comparisons to all the other games that I'm aware of. Mario 2, Pokemon, Zelda, Metroid, Kid Icarus. Just ignore the skeleton guarding the door. Alright, later, man. Of no concern to Simon. Just another thing to walk past. He hasn't even been like, just hasn't been going for health. Like, I wonder actually how many, like, secret chickens there are. So, and that money thing is points. Yeah. This is all points. So, again, this is like, it's like how Mega Man 1 was. Like, there's much more like, I mean, I guess Castlevania 2 is still has a point system. I think it still has a point system. I don't know. But, like, this game is much more about the points, it seems, compared to, that's just a Frankenstein with an imp on his head. Oh, there he goes. What? What? Huh. That's not a normal imp. Okay, this actually looks slightly more... Oh, he's dead. No, he's not. What the heck? This boss actually looks slightly more difficult, except It's very simplistic though. Frankenstein just kind of walks back and forth, and then the imp jumps around and shoots fire. The bosses in this game are really interesting. Like, they're very simplistic in execution and seem very exploitable because of their simplistic execution, but like, I don't know, they're interesting. I like the bosses, I do, honestly. It's a cool feel. Also, where are we? Oh, we just took the sewer. I see how that happens now. Okay, so then I guess 2 more waves, and then we're up at the end of the game. Jeez, like, this is a short game. But I mean, some games were like that. I know a lot of early NES games are still like conveying that sort of, I guess, Atari, but also just like that arcade sort of feel of like quick games, like beat it the fastest, get the highest score, or whatever. And then even like just within the era of the NES, like games evolved from that and started becoming more like, it's not always about the high score, and it's about like, and not like the game isn't about the experience now, because gaming has always been about the experience. I think the very root of gaming is, those were some weird voice cracks. Voice cracks to help invalidate the point that I'm trying to make. I feel like gaming has always been rooted in the experience, and whatever you change about the game, whatever is different about the game, whether it's a high score game or it's a very story heavy game, whatever it's like single player, multiplayer, whatever, all of gaming is rooted on the experience, and that's the stem of it all, I feel like. And I don't know, I definitely am not the first person to make this argument at all. Like, I feel like most people would agree with me on that. But then also, it's in the difference between the experience and like how developers make games is just where they go with how they want to make that experience for people. Like, what do they believe is the biggest priority for creating that experience for people? Like, do you want the multiplayer fun? Do you want a serious sort of game? Do you want to like tell a serious story, or do you want to just have a good time, or however? And like, and different people want different things from games as well. So like, the golden gaming experience, I feel like, differs from player to player, and that's kind of, it's very interesting, because like trying to make games with the idea of appealing to everyone in mind, like, is very difficult because of everyone's perception of what they want from the ideal gaming experience. But it's super fascinating to me, like, to know that what I look for in a game and what I want in a game is not always the same. I mean, I guess there's a general sort of like, you want a game to be good and you want it to like look good and feel good. But then like, do you care more about story or gameplay, or do you care more about like this or that or whatever? Like, nothing is set in how to make a good game, I feel like. Okay, so I'm trying to now take myself back to the game, because a lot is happening here. So I'm confused as to what these numbers actually do. Like, Ultimate's picking up these like the like mahjong tiles with the Roman numerals on them, and I don't understand what they're actually doing. Because he had a 2 and now he has a 3, but I don't feel like anything's different. Maybe it's like, is it boosted attack? I could find out when he's fighting this thing. Maybe, I don't know. That could be just the combo of the whip and the holy water, though. I'm guessing the holy water probably has a larger hitbox than it actually looks, because he tosses it out and then like the fire doesn't spread to what he's attacking, but it seems like it dies faster. So either that's coincidence, or it's just that the holy water has a decent sized hitbox. I don't know. I feel like from what I've seen so far, all the sub weapons seem to have like decent use to them. Although I think there was a dagger that just kind of goes forward, which I mean is good for a projectile, but then you have that boomerang which does the same thing. Like, that boomerang seems to cross the whole length of the screen and then come right back. So, unless the dagger just does a lot of damage, it would seem like that boomerang is a very effective weapon. And the holy water's good because it like, is this the, well no, because this is the one where it lands on the ground and then explodes in fire. I don't know if it is the same one as the thing that gets tossed in an arc. Because if it's the thing that gets tossed in an arc, then it's still good for taking out things in the air. Like, the sub-weapons, and even, like, it is the one that goes in the arc, yep. And even the ability to stop time, like, that's a very useful skill, obviously. So it seems like all these sub-weapons are actually, like, equally useful, at least the ones that he's getting, unless he's, like, purposely ignoring, like, I don't know if sub-weapon spawns are set, but if he's purposely ignoring, like, the bad sub-weapons, then I don't know. But at least the ones he's using seem really well balanced. Also, hello, Grim Reaper. Jeez, okay, so he moves from side to side, I guess, and then throws side... What? Wow, really? Wow. Speaking of exploits, he... Huh, that's like... Wow, that's... that was really cool. So I guess you can stun lock at least the Reaper, if not other enemies and bosses, just with the whip and the holy water. That's actually really impressive. I wonder if that's difficult to pull off, or if it's just like you kind of just toss them out over and over again, or if there's like some frame perfect execution that's going on there. Either way, that was really cool. Oh look, there's the boss of like the first area, except now it's just a regular enemy. Hey. Although I don't know if that's supposed to show like, oh, that Simon Belmont has progressed as a warrior and that he's become stronger, because like he kind of hasn't. It's probably just meant to be like enemies you need to dodge because you can't sit here and try to kill them. Like just keep moving and get going. So this is the final area before we reach, I'm assuming, Dracula. I'm pretty sure it would be Dracula. Gotta climb the tower to get up to the big bad himself. These things look terrifying. They look like just scarier versions of Hammer Bros. They move faster and throw more hammers. They don't jump though, but I mean, you don't need to jump in this game. You get enough projectiles on screen and that's menacing enough. This is like a clock tower sort of thing. Oh. Oh, this actually seems kind of difficult to follow. Lots of ups and downs. Although I mean, at least the yellow of the walkable terrain sticks out from the background, but it like the gray and the yellow kind of mushes together in a sense. It flows to and it flows into itself pretty easily. What else is there? I remember a big thing in that sequelitis video. I remember that this game has like a much more vibrant color palette as opposed to Castlevania 2, which is much more like dark and somber in its appearance. Which probably because it's trying to invoke a different feeling. Like this game is supposed to feel more like arcadey, more kind of like jaunty, I suppose. But then Castlevania 2 it has like RPG-esque elements within the game, and I mean that game's also a lot longer, and it's probably meant to invoke the more serious side that's a little more darker, a little bit more focused on the storytelling, as opposed to this game, which is just, you know, dude with whip goes to fight Dracula. Speaking of, I believe we're fighting him right now. I also think that you can only hurt him on the head. That would be a fairly safe guess. Seeing as how the rest of him just looks kind of capey, and then that head is very much like, look, hit me here, kind of appearance to it. So this doesn't seem too bad. Although I guess if those fireballs lock on, okay, jeez, if those fireballs lock onto your placement, then it could be kind of difficult trying to time, like, you know, making sure you can. Okay, that actually is kind of impressive. That fireball looks like the fireballs look like it's to keep hitting him, but his legs are just skimming over. There goes his head. Oh wow. Okay, jeez. Seriously? He's just alternating between fire and holy water. Yep, and the hearts are ammo for the sub-weapon. Wow. Wow, that's kind of... I don't like that. I mean... Wow. Okay. Jeez, yeah, you possess the holy water and you own the game. And yeah, that's not nearly as impressive now, because he was just kind of casually tossing them out. It's timing, I guess. Just know how long you have before you have to send out the next one. That's kind of lame. Oh, shoot, and there goes the entire castle, because it's a weight-bearing boss, obviously. He sure looked like he could bear a weight. He's freaking, like, Bug Atlas-looking dude. Holy cow. Produced by Konami, directed by Trans Fishers. Van Stoker, James Banana. these little monikers that they... Christopher B. What is this? I love this. I know. Sometimes I know, like in the early days, Japanese developers, their names were too long and they would go under monikers. I know, like Metal Gear Solid did that, among other things. I know offhand. It's not the only game, of course, but I thought that's what they were going with, but no, it seems like they're just parody. Simon Belmondo. El Simon Belmondo, you played the greatest role in this story. I love that. Thank you for playing. Aw, you're welcome, Konami. Now, make good games, please. Konami still makes good games every now and then. That company is an interesting situation. Well, there we are. So that's gonna be the original Castlevania. That was really fun. That was an enjoyable game. Very short, but I enjoyed talking about that. I look forward to looking at more Castlevania games. Not sure if they're going to get better or worse at all, but now that I have seen the first one, I have a comparison to go off of, and that's good to know. Hopes are high so far. First Castlevania is really good. Again, looking forward to seeing everything else that there is. I hope you guys enjoyed the video once again. Please feel free to leave your thoughts, your comments down below. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you like what you see, and give me any thoughts or feedback on what I discussed in the commentary, or just on how I'm doing the commentaries in general. And with that, I'll catch you guys for the next one. Take care.